Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Chris and we're doing another episode of Beginner's Speed Solving. In the first episode we looked at the cross, how to do it in 8 moves or less and as efficiently as possible. Hopefully if you watch this video you will be an expert at solving the cross already, which means we're ready to move on to the second step of CFOP, which is F2L, or the first 2 layers. For this video I'm going to be using my F2L cube, which is basically just a 3x3 with the top layer excluding the center missing. So having solved the cross, your 3x3 will likely look something a little bit like this. Obviously we've only done the first step, so it still looks relatively scrambled up. Our job now is to put these pieces in around the cube. The method for doing this involves 4 simple steps. I say simple because the theory behind it is actually quite easy. You match up pairs of corners and edges and then put them in their respective slots 4 times for the obvious 1, 2, 3, 4 slots. A completed edge pair looks something like this. As you can see, we have the white, red and blue corner matched up with the red and blue edge, and this obviously goes into here, and that is a solved edge pair. Again, you do this 4 times, and what I'm going to be telling you guys in this video is how you match up those edge pairs and how you put them in their respective slots. There are typically 3 different types of ways to match up edge pairs. There are different variations on these 3 different examples, but generally there are 3 different types. So the first example I'm going to show you is when we have the white corner in the inside band of the top layer, meaning it's not on the top. The way you identify the different cases for F2L is by which colour is on the top compared to the edge. So as you can see, the corner is red facing upwards on the yellow face, and the edge is blue with red on the other face. The way that you solve this is actually really easy. You need to get the corner into either the right or the left, depending on where you're putting the edge, and you can easily match them up by simply doing this. Simply an R move will solve the edge pair. And just so you guys can see the left case, again it's the same, blue is facing up and red is facing up, so simply all you need to do is match them up together like this, and then you've got the edge pair solved. What you can actually do here though is match them up and put them in the same one move, just by doing the beginner's method algorithm of Li, Ui, L. Because as you can see, we match them up and then we put them in. And it really is that simple, at least that case is. Simply match them up and place them in. The next case is a little bit more difficult to grasp because this is when the 2 pieces are facing upwards. So we have blue on the top and blue on the top. So obviously you can't match up by doing this because they don't match. What we need to do in this case is match them up before we put them in. In the previous example we put them in the same move. So what we actually need to do this time is move down, do a U2 and then an up. And then as you can see, we match them up like so. I'll do that again. So we have both blue facing upwards, we move this corner out of the way, we bring the edge all the way around, and then we can match them up. That is when we have the same colour facing upwards. And I'll show you that on the right hand side as well, just so you can grasp it. Obviously we have red facing up and red facing up. We do exactly the same again, just on the other side. We do an RI, a U2, and then an R. So essentially we just bring the corner out of the way, bring the edge to the place where the corner will come back again. And obviously then you have the piece solved. What we do from here when we actually have the edge pairs made up already is we do what's called a sledgehammer move, and that is to simply just sledgehammer the piece in. So as you can see, we need this piece to go in here. And that's actually the first move. We simply put it in, move this empty slot in the way, replace these edges, and then put it back again. So it's just one simple 4 move algorithm, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it's sledgehammered in there. It's a really neat move and you can actually do it really quickly. The third case is actually really probably the most difficult one to get your head around, and that is when we have the white piece actually in the top. It doesn't really matter which way the edge is facing because we solve it in a way that kind of just fixes it anyway. What we need to do in this case is we actually go to the edge, and as you can see we have the red piece facing this inner band here. What we need to do is match up this piece with its center, and as you can see that is already done on this red center here. Say the case came like this, we'd just move this edge over here, and that stops us from messing up any other edges. What we do from here is we take note of the blue piece up here, and we want to turn that away from the blue center. So instead of doing this, we actually do this. So from here we simply move the corner onto this edge and then replace it back again. And as you can see, we have then solved this edge pair. I'll do that again for you guys. So we match up the red with the red, we look at the blue and we turn it away from the blue, match it up over here with the corner and then bring it back again, restoring the cross. And then you know this move already, it's a simple sledgehammer just in the mirrored version. 4 moves and then you've done it. So those are the 3 main cases you'll get. I now need to take you through some tips so you don't actually mess up pairs that you've already made. So one really common case that you'll get is when we have pieces already in their slots, just not the right way round, or they won't be matched up correctly. And this is actually just something that's a bit of an inconvenience. The worst case you will get is when the pieces are already in the right slot and they need to be taken out again. You may get a case like this where the wrong edges are in the slot also the wrong way, and these can be solved easily by just ignoring them and just putting the correct pieces in as I already showed you how to. And obviously this has been placed in and these have been brought out again. What we do when the 2 pieces are in the right slot but the wrong way round is we just simply have to take them out. There's no real other way to do it. There are algorithms for F2L, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'm trying to be as intuitive as possible. The best thing that I would do here is to simply just take them out like so. And then we obviously have the white facing move, which is to move the edge away, match them up, and then sledgehammer them in. So it does take a few more moves and it is inconvenient, but I suppose it's just necessary. In this case here, we have an edge in the right place and a corner facing upwards. That means white is on the top. Now there's actually a really neat trick you can do here. It's called the sexy move, and it's just U-R-U-I-R-I, 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 and that has solved it for us. That's just a really neat trick you can know, but you have to have white facing on the top. If white is not on the top and you do the move, as you can see, we have another case of where the edge is in the wrong place. The final thing I want to take you through is when 2 pieces of one edge pair are already together but they're not matched up correctly. So as you can see in this case, they are together but you can't just put them in because they're incorrect. As you can see in this case, we have the 2 blue pieces facing up, so we know it's one of those awkward match-up ones. What we need to do in this case is use an empty slot here to actually separate them, and from there we then need to go ahead and do the match-up move like so. It is very intuitive, it's easy to do, it just wastes moves. This is pretty much exactly the same for when you have them together and we have different colours facing upwards. Again, all you need to do is use an empty slot, separate the pieces, and then put them in. Finally, when white is facing up and we have it matched up with an edge, we need to again separate them by using an empty slot. So we just move them apart from one another, and then of course we see that we need to match up the red, move it away, match them up, sledgehammer it in. It really is that simple. When I say you need to use an empty edge to separate the pieces, that means a slot that has not already been filled by an edge pair. So if I was to use this slot here to separate these 2 pieces, if I was to do this, I've actually added another edge pair to the mix, and I've actually messed them up. So what we need to do to avoid this is to make sure we always know where we have empty slots. Until you've finished F2L, you will always have one empty slot at least, and you can use these to separate other pieces or to just move pieces around. One thing you need to be careful about when separating pieces is that you do it efficiently, and it does take quite a long time to get used to it, but you could do moves such as this, which sets up a much more difficult case for matching up. If we have two different colours facing up, we can easily separate and put them in as few moves as possible. But for the most part, those are the most common cases that you're going to need to know if you want to do F2L intuitively. As I said, this is quite a difficult concept to get used to, at least to begin with. If you are doing the beginner's method now, you will probably slow down on your F2L and it will actually take you longer, and that is not particularly a bad thing. It takes a bit of a while to get used to, and yes, you will slow down, but in the long term, you'll speed up so much. So guys, this has been a tutorial on intuitive F2L in the CFOP method. I hope you have found it useful, and if you have, please remember to leave a like. If you have any questions whatsoever, leave a comment below, and then of course subscribe, and you'll be notified every time I upload a brand new video. Have an awesome day guys, I will see you soon.